Cher Président, chers collègues, c'est un immense plaisir de pouvoir vous accueillir à nouveau à l'OCDE, comme le veut la tradition, bien qu'en format hybride. L'OCDE est fier d'être partenaire de la conférence de Paris qui, chaque année, nous offre une opportunité unique de dialoguer au sujet des défis mondiaux et de trouver ensemble des solutions rassemblant les acteurs majeurs du monde entier. The pandemic has wreaked havoc on the world economy, hitting the lives and livelihoods of people everywhere. The economic recovery is underway, economic growth has been picking up, and the economic outlook has been improving. Global economic growth is expected to reach 5.7% this year and 4.5% next year, according to our projections from September, which we will be slightly revising in tomorrow's economic outlook. Extensive policy support combined with the rapid development of effective vaccines as well as with the accelerating digital transformation of our economies all contributed to this more optimistic outlook. Yet, the recovery remains uneven across countries and sectors and significant uncertainties remain. We need to continue to pursue an all-out effort to reach the entire world population with vaccines as quickly as possible, because no country will be appropriately protected until every country is appropriately protected. To optimize the strength and the quality of the recovery, policy support should remain flexible, adjusted to the evolving health and economic situation. The composition of that support must be better and better targeted to those in genuine need and towards future-focused investment, particularly into green and digital transitions and infrastructure. Open markets, a strong competitive framework, a system which rewards the most productive and innovative business ideas and encourages investment in future growth and success will lead to quality job creation and the lifting of living standards. Strengthening the rules-based multilateral trading system with the WTO at its center will benefit all trading nations. And recovery policies must promote equality of opportunities and foster social mobility, including by restoring and boosting opportunities for women and youth, those with low skills, those caring for children, or the elderly and those who are sick. We need the recovery to be greener and to lift ambition and effort in the fight against climate change to the level required to get to global net zero by 2050. More and more countries are committing to that target, and the Conference of Paris has rightly called this edition a world in transition. In the aftermath of COP26, the challenge is to continue to ramp up ambition, to turn commitments into outcomes, and to manage the transition to net zero in an environmentally effective, economically responsible, and publicly supported way that does not leave people behind. We need a lifting of ambition and effort around the world in a way that is effective and fair. Effective in that efforts in individual jurisdictions help to reduce global emissions, rather than just shift emissions into other parts of the world. Fair, in that every country carries an appropriate, proportionate and verifiable share of the burden. We need much better data to track, measure, report and compare the climate action efforts pursued by countries around the world, including how these efforts contribute to our global climate mission. Our international program on action on climate, IPAC, has been developed to address these challenges. Through regular monitoring, policy evaluation and dialogue on results and good practices, IPAC helps participating countries strengthen and coordinate their climate action, complementing and supporting the UNFCCC and Paris Agreement monitoring frameworks. The post-pandemic recovery is an opportunity to bolster policy trajectories. At least 50% of CO2 emissions from energy use remain unpriced. Building on the successful experience of the inclusive framework on international tax reform, the OECD has proposed a new initiative to support a more coherent and globally better coordinated approach to the pricing of emissions. This is designed to recognize the diversity of policy approaches and circumstances in the mitigation of emissions, taking into account both explicit and implicit carbon pricing, while avoiding shifting emissions to other parts of the world. Appropriate finance for climate action must also be secured, particularly for and in developing countries. Based on the latest information we have received from donors and multilateral development banks, I should say, OECD analysis shows that developed countries intend to significantly increase climate finance provided and mobilized in coming years. And our estimates indicate that 2023 is the year when the goal of $100 billion US in annual funding climate finance for developing countries will be met and exceeded. This is encouraging, but it will be critical to deliver on those commitments and to ensure that the level of finance is sustained and continues to grow through 2024, 2025, and indeed beyond. The private sector has a key role to play in this regard, including in providing transition financing and ensuring transparent and comparable climate disclosures across jurisdictions. We also need to ensure that we can seize the opportunities while better managing the risks and challenges associated with the digital transformation of economies and business models. This includes ensuring appropriate and equitable access to digital infrastructure, investing in skills development, addressing skills shortages, planning for the future of work, effectively addressing competition issues, cybersecurity, privacy, cross-border data flow with trust, tax policy implications, as well as setting values-based and human-centric standards, for example, on the use of artificial intelligence. Ensuring a global level playing field also requires making international tax arrangements fairer and work better in a digitalized and globalized world economy. Last October, 137 countries and jurisdictions in the OECD G20 inclusive framework, representing more than 90% of the world economy, agreed to a landmark reform of international tax arrangements, which was endorsed by G20 leaders during the Rome summit at the end of October. This reform shows what can be achieved when we all work together, engaging also with stakeholders to find balanced, effective, multilateral solutions to the shared challenges of our time. Mesdames et messieurs, la conférence de Paris offre une occasion unique de tisser des liens plus étroits et de partager des solutions pour que ce monde en transition soit plus résilient, vert et numérique. Soyez assurés que l'OCDE continuera de renforcer notre coopération multipartite en poursuivant le dialogue avec le secteur privé. Ce n'est qu'en travaillant ensemble, à travers un multilatéralisme efficace, que nous pourrons continuer le chemin vers une reprise durable. Merci à tous. Thank you very much. I wish you a successful conference.